So this first lick, what I've done here is try to incorporate a few of the things that Vito Bratta is renowned for, which is pretty much his very melodic kind of tapping sense. Not your kind of, even though he's influenced a lot by Eddie Van Halen, not your standard kind of arpeggio, kind of tapping sort of licks that were going on, but Vito Bratta was a great example of using bends with taps, slides, essentially playing melodic lines with taps rather than being a kind of a flash, kind of showy off thing. So this is being played over an E chord, over the main riff basically. Then it goes to like a C chord and a D. So over the E chord, what we're doing is we're going to be tapping, basically this is my root note here, 9th fret the G string, my 3rd finger, then my 1st finger is playing this flat 7. So again a kind of mixed Lydian kind of vibe I guess. And I'm going to be tapping up here at the 14th fret of the G string. So that's basically like your 4th, and then tapping the major 3rd. Okay, so you're kind of alternating between them. Like that. So basically they're nice and even 16ths. And I've got a couple little triplets. So I just changed the rhythm up a little bit there, just to add a little bit of interest. So slowly that goes. Okay, then I have another couple of the taps. And then this is where we get into kind of very Vito Bratta-like type phrases. I'm going to tap at the 14th fret and bend up. Now do the bend with the left hand. So I'm tapping at the 14th fret. And, you know, bend up a whole step. Once I've done that, I'm going to slide up to the 21st fret. Very similar to the sort of thing he does at the start of the Wait solo, basically, of Pride. Okay, now the cool thing about this tapping note, to add vibrato to it, you use the left hand. Okay, so together that goes. Then I'm going to move my left hand, holding that tap, pull off to 14, 13 in that G string. So you're toying again with that major 3rd. Then I'm going to do tap at the 14th fret of that D string, pull off to 9 and 7 in the D string. Then I'm going to tap at the 11th fret on the A string. But I've set my left hand up now, so I'm at the basically the kind of the 7th fret of the E string with the 3rd finger there. And I bend with that. So what I'm doing here, again, if I'm thinking from the context of E, I'm tapping like a major 3rd there, and I'm going to bend up a half step. And then I pull off to 7th fret there, which is the root note of E. Even though I'm playing over a D chord, yeah, I'm still thinking of a kind of E. So that whole little sequence from here. And the reason I was aiming for this kind of melodic feel is because I'm hitting the 3rds. Well, technically not the 3rd over the chord, but I'm aiming for these kind of really nice kind of melodic intervals rather than just kind of a flash bit of kind of tapping arpeggios. So the whole thing slowly sounds like this. Yeah. So all these little features of tapping, put a bend, vibrato, slides as well, so you get this big wide intervallic jump and then come back down again. They're all big kind of features of Vito Bratta's playing. So try and incorporate that in with your own playing, and then see if you can try some of those ideas, big wide intervallic jumps, and see how you got on with your own licks. So this lick's all about Vito Bratta's melodic side again, and this is inspired by something you hear at the end of Don't Give Up off the Pride album. Now, I'm playing over the backing track here where the harmony kind of moves to G, D, F sharp, then E minor. So over the G chord, to get that really melodic kind of sense, what I'm doing is playing all the chord tones. Effectively I'm playing an arpeggio. So I start off is play that little arpeggio there. So notice I'm not playing like a sweep arpeggio or whatever. One of the things about Vito Bratta's playing, he has this kind of mixture of legato lines and nice staccato or kind of picked lines. So he's got this constant contrast going on. So this is all picked, you know, and if you can alternate pick it also, you get that extra little bite to the notes. So what I'm playing here is it's basically like a little G triad up at the 7th fret. So I'm playing 7th fret the G string, then I'm going to do 8th fret the B string, then 7th fret the high E string, then I go 8th fret the G string again, then I do the 10th fret the high E string, then I do 8 in the B, 7 in the G, 9 in the D. So the arpeggio, that's basically your 5th, that's your root, that's your 3rd, that's your 5th. You know, and then you're coming down there basically to the 3rd again. So that's why it has this really nice kind of melodic feel to it. Then from here the chord changes to D with F sharp in the bass. So I'll play a D major triad. So from here I'm going to play 12th fret the D string, 11 on the G, and then 10 in the B string. That there's a little D triad, root, 3rd, 5th. Yeah. Then I'm going to jump up to 14th fret the high E string, so I'm hitting a 3rd there. Then root note, 10th fret high E string. Then I do this 12, 10 in the B string. Just a little melodic sequence just to get to this chord tone again. And then 11th fret of the G string again. You know, that 3rd sounds great over, really melodic over those sort of chords. So slowly that goes. Okay, so the next 2 bars are directly inspired by Don't Give Up. And really what I'm doing here is I'm superimposing like a G arpeggio over the C minor chord. So you get this nice kind of extended intervallic sound. So what I'm actually playing is this. But really what I'm thinking of is these chord tones of relative to G. So this is like your 3rd. That's my root note, that's my 3rd. Then I got my 5th. Then a root note again. Then a 3rd. And then I've got my 5th. And then a root note again. But what adds this cool little classical nature to it and very melodic feels, I'm doing a hammer on and pull off to the kind of next note in the scale above. Like that. So I do like 9, 10, 9 on the D string. Yeah. I'm cutting it off as well, so it's like, and then little rest there. Then I go to the 7th fret that G string. I'm going to hammer on, pull off to 9 and back. Mute there. That was our 5th. Then I go to the root note of G. Though over the C minor chord, it's like the minor 3rd, but you know, thinking of a G chord. I'm going to do a hammer, 8 to 10 back to 8 again. Then I jump up to do 12, 13, 12. Then I'm going to jump up and do 15, 17, 15 in the B string. And then I've got 15, 17, 15 in the high E. Yeah. So you get this real cool, very classical kind of sounding thing, but it's very, very melodic again because you're playing all these kind of chord tones. Okay. So the whole phrase slowly sounds like this. Okay, so see how you got on with that, and think again, you know, of this idea of rather than just running up and down sweep arpeggios or whatever, if you're playing over a particular chord like this G, instead of, you know, look for the chord tones and then do some embellishment of way of getting to them, you know, things like that, and you'll add that kind of melodic feel to your playing. So this lick is definitely Vito with his foot in the Van Halen camp. Obviously Vito Bratta is heavily influenced by Van Halen, but I think the difference between the two really is Vito Bratta has this melodic kind of sense to his playing, whereas maybe Van Halen's got a bit more kind of blues rock thing going on. But this tapping lick is definitely of that kind of Van Halen style. And what we're doing here is, you can imagine is up at playing like a E pentatonic minor, kind of shape up here. I'm going to tap these extended kind of intervals here. So I'm going to tap at 19th fret, pull off to 12, and then hammer to 17 on that high E. So you're kind of doing like it's like a 5th root and a 4th there type thing over E. Then what I'm going to do one of them, then I'm going to do the same shape on the B string. It's one of the cool thing about a lot of these kind of licks, where you can take a shape and just kind of move it down through the strings. Very Van Halen. So that's our 2 groups of 3. We do it again, then we do it a third time. Then I'm going to tap 19th fret the G string, pull off to 12 again. Instead of hammer on to 17 here, I'm going to hammer on to the 16th fret there, which is kind of like the 5th over the E. Then I tap 19th fret the D string, pull off to 12, and then hammer on to 16th fret of that D string there, which is kind of like a 9th over the E. And then I end with tapping 19th fret the A string, which is your root note of your E. So slowly the whole thing goes like this. Okay, so it's kind of like a little fill lick you could use maybe if you're playing, you know, rhythm guitar and you just throw in a little fill there, kind of very Van Halen style. But that's how you can do it. Okay, so have fun with that. So lick 4, this was inspired by a little phrase that Vito plays at the end of the Wait solo. What we're doing here is we're playing over our chords again, where we've got this E major, then it's like a C major, then a kind of D major, so it's kind of this little combination of like an E major flavour. And when the C chord comes in, it's kind of like a E minor vibe, I guess. So over the E chord, I'm playing this little phrase, group of 4 notes, where I'm playing 10-9 on the B string with a pull off, and then 11-9 on the G string with a pull off. So what you're doing there is you're pulling off to the 3rd and the root note over the E chord. Okay, because we're doing even 16ths there, if we want to do a whole bar of it, basically we do that 4 times. Okay, next bar. Still over the E chord, so change, instead of pulling off kind of like the 4th to the 3rd, I pull off from the 5th, so I'm doing 12th fret the B string. Yeah, so over that E chord you've got this very melodic sounding thing again, because you're playing all these kind of chord tones. So slowly it goes like this. Okay, now at speed, when I'm playing that, I think I'm probably doing like a downstroke in the B string, an upstroke in the G string. Yeah, and I'm also barring obviously to do it, but you could do it without the bar. There's a lot of movement there, so you know, if you are barring, watch out you don't have any of the strings ringing together. Now the chord then changes to C, so what I do basically is just move it up to kind of a G triad. Or I guess if you're thinking over the C chord, that's like the root note, pull off to the major 7, you know, and then you got like a 6th there, I guess, and your 5th. However you want to think about it, but it adds this nice little melodic phrase because it's continuing on, you know, you've got this motif that you've shifted up with the harmony. So you got a full bar of that, and then over the D, what I do, it's kind of a little resolution phrase in E, so I'm playing 14th fret of the G string with a pinch harmonic. You know, Vito Bratta, of course, of that era of rock guitarists where you want to throw in lots of pinch harmonics, you know. So I'm playing 14th fret there, and I'm aiming in the middle point of above my single chord pick up in the middle here. That's your kind of interval you're going for. Then I play 14 and 13 with the pinch harmonic. Then I'm going to go down to here, so I play 9 on the G, 9 in the D, then 7th fret the G, and then root note 9th fret with a pinch harmonic. Okay. Yeah. So over thinking in terms of E, you can think of that as maybe being like your 5th, your flat 7, like that. You know, that sustains as it goes back to the E chord. So slowly the whole thing sounds like this. So the last lick's all about hitting chord tones again with a little approach note. This is what gives it its real melodic kind of feel. So I'm playing over the E major chord again. So what I'm doing is I'm aiming for these chord tones, and the chord tones I'm going for are first fret the G string, which is G sharp, it's your major third basically. Then fourth fret the B string, which is the fifth. Ninth fret the G string, which is root note. 13th fret the G string, which is your major third again. Then I get 12th fret of the B string, which is your fifth. And 12th fret the high E string, that's E, so it's your root note. And then I've got 16th fret that high E string there, which is your third again. Okay, so you can hear that's all the chord tones for the E major. And what we're doing is similar to one of the licks week before, where I'm going to approach each of those notes from the one above. So I do 2-1, then I'm going to do 6-4 to get that fourth fret there. And basically the sixth note I slide into it. Then I'm going to do 11-9 in the G string. Again, I slide in. Then to approach the 13th fret, I slide up to the 14th fret, use my second finger. Play 14, 13 there. Then I'm going to do 12 in that B string, remember it's our fifth, so I slide up to 14th fret with the third finger. Then do the same thing in the high E string. Okay. Then I'm going to slide to 17th fret to get to the 16th fret. Now over the C chord, I end on that 17th fret of the B string there, which is kind of like an E. Over the C is the third, you know. Maybe use the whammy bar, playing a vibrato. And then just to end it off a little bit 80s harmonics, I'm going to do 7th fret natural harmonics at the D string, G string, and then the B string there. Okay, so slowly the whole thing sounds like this. And timing wise, I'm coming in the and of the beat, so it's like 1, so I'm not coming in on the beat, which gives it this nice kind of feel in the rhythm. So that's a great lick, and another look into why Vito Bratta's playing sounds so melodic. He's always hitting all these chord tones. He's very mindful of what he's playing over, even in the kind of rock setting. So try that in your own playing, and hopefully you'll find that your playing will become more melodic. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully those 5 licks have given you some ideas, some things to try out. As I said, Vito Bratta is an amazing player. I said, he has that Van Halen influence, but he has this strong melodic sense. So some of these licks are to try and help you along those kind of lines, thinking in terms of chord tones. Things like knowing your intervals all over the neck is vital for this sort of thing. But your ear can guide you that way as well. So if you want access to the sound slides page for this lesson, or if you want the jam track, or basically the guitar profiles or the Helix patch I used, check out Master the Guitar on Patreon, because that's one of the perks for the patrons over there. You can also check out Master the Guitar on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all those usual places. So have fun, guys, and I'll hopefully see you soon.